All righty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody is having a lovely day. And with that being said, let's dive into the TA. All right, guys, we have FOMC coming in hot tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is when we will get the rate decision. And then at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Powell's presser. This will almost certainly be moving the market. In this video, we're going to go over how things are looking into it and what we can expect. All right, we're going to kick it off here with QQQ, and I am just going to point out you have a nice looking bear flag built out over here on the 15-minute time frame. You can see on the daily time frame, rejected short-term moving average. You come down to the 1-hour time frame, all right, and just like that, you gave that up and you rejected the short-term moving averages. You come down to the 15-minute time frame, and you're also rejecting the short-term moving averages. The 9 EMA is that blue line, the 21 EMA is the white line. You are rejecting them on the daily, on the hourly, on the 15-minute chart, and you're definitely built out in a bear flag here on QQQ and SPY. Because of this, I say there's increased odds. We're going to, take out this low over here tomorrow, and we're going to see 470.83 again. Now, you have the 0.786 fib from this whole move up here. It's sitting right around that 470.83 level. If that can't hold and you start seeing 470.50 trade, you're probably going to be coming down here and taking out this 467.01 low. Or at least, you're going to be coming somewhere down here. I'm not saying you take it out, but, it's not a sign of strength to be coming down to where the move, started from. That is really what we're working with over here, right? So as far as levels go, guys, watch this lower trend line. If you break down from this bear flag, we're watching 472.41. All right, that was today's low over here. Underneath 472.41, we have 470.83, and then we're going to have 467.01 if that cannot hold. Now, as we can see on the daily time frame, we already know everything's oversold, guys. If you take out this low, it's probably going to put in that bullish divergence here on the daily RSI. And, I'm just going to say, we have a big event. Everything is still oversold. Nothing got an actual, you got, I guess we call this the dead cat bounce. But you didn't get any sort of a relief here. All right. I understand there's this. You're going to say, Henry, there's relief right there. Guys, that's not what we're looking for. All right. That's nothing. At some point, this thing is actually going to retrace the move. It's going to get a 50% retracement, or it's going to come up here to our golden pocket. That's the move I'm talking about. That's what, I'm just going to say, we have this big event that's going to be moving markets. Hey, everything is still oversold. Nothing got relief. All right. Now I'm just going to say Apple, daily RSI is oversold. Again, if you take out these lows, guys, you got to put in bullish divergences across the board. Microsoft, still oversold with the daily bullish divergence, and you're in that falling wedge pattern. Come over here to Amazon, still oversold with the daily bullish divergence over there. You failed the falling wedge pattern. Okay. You want to come over to Goog? What do we got over here? Like perma bears want to keep saying this thing's going lower. I don't know what to tell you. If you are shorting down here, you are guaranteed shorting a hold. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm not saying you can't trade to the downside for, 1 to 2 days, overnight, or, a day trade right there. I'm just telling you for a fact, if you're trying to swing short at the, where we are right now, you are shorting a hole. I'm extremely confident on that one. Now, I'm just going to say, people have been calling for the bounce. I've been looking for a bounce. I also told you, we're not getting just squat diddly do until we get over the short-term moving average. People, I can be a perma bull all I want, all right? But I'm also a realist, and you're definitely here in a bearish trend here, and you are underneath the short-term moving average. We knew over here on SPY and QQQ, you wanted to get back above here. This is the 200 DMA here. We didn't even test it. And that's why I say, if you're trying to short down here, you're shorting the hole. Even if you come down here, you take out this low, okay, you're gonna get this sick, nasty bounce. It's gonna come back. It's gonna test the 200. It's probably gonna overthrow this area. It's probably gonna come all the way up here to 590. All right, the amount of people are just still bearish. I'm just saying, it's definitely way more than the people that are bullish. There's the AAPL investor, that sentiment survey that's been showing for, I think, 2 or 3 weeks. We've had the most bearish sentiment we've had over the last year. All right. It's 60% bears, and bulls are, I don't remember the number, but 15 to 20%. It's normally completely flipped. All right. I understand. A lot of people think we're starting a bear market right now. We could. All right. But that's what I'm saying. That's the type of thinking. There's going to get a lot of people shorting the hole here. And I'm just saying, if you have been trying to catch this long and you're now switching short, you're going to obliterate yourself. Okay. It's not worth the squeeze. The juice ain't worth the squeeze. All right. Once you can get over this white line, that's when you start a larger rally. You haven't done it. All right. You haven't done it. You failed over here. I was thinking we were probably going to come straight up here and test it because that's where the 200 was. We didn't want to do that, which tells us we're probably, you know, if we make a low, it's going to be a marginal low. We're probably going to now get that bounce. All right. Go back to the bear market, guys. All right. You bounce here oversold territory. You come back down like you're not staying there. That's when you put in a bullish divergence. All right. It like, you know, and that was the only time you came down to oversold territory and then you bounced back and then you took out the low. It was the exact bottom of the bear market. I'm telling you for a fact, people are trying to short the hole. Okay. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. People are trying to short a hole. Okay. Like you see over here, it came down to the low. It was a marginal low. You shot right back up. I'm not saying it's going to, you know, play out exactly like how we've seen in history, previous price action. But I'm telling you, it's probably going to rhyme. And once you come over here, this is exactly what I would be talking about right here. Okay. We didn't even test this 21 yet. Okay. People think we're just going to fall off a cliff again. No, you hit oversold territory over here. You got this little bounce into the 9 EMA. Look where we are, 9 EMA. And then you went down for a, you know, ever so slightly marginal low, $2 lower. All right. And you probably had people very mad that they, you know, maybe sold out longs. Maybe they ended up, you know, going short over here for this move because they think it's going to fall off a cliff because everybody and their mother's bearish right now. And I'm telling you, if I have people in my everyday life that know absolutely nothing about the market trying to talk to me about a market crash or a bear market, I can almost guarantee it's like the same thing as my pops buying MSTR or Bitcoin and not selling when the thing, you know, went from like 70 to like 110K, or just buying the top of MSTR. They are signals over there. People don't watch the market and they're starting to get there. That's clear as day where the crowded trade is right now. And I know people have been calling for the bottom. I understand. All right. But I'm just going to tell you, you know, I'm not even going to say probably. I'm going to say if you break down through the bear flag, you break underneath 554.87, you're probably going to undercut this low and make a marginal low, and then you bounce back hard from there. I'm just like, that's how it is. So FOMC over here, if you get, you know, a bearish reaction, it's just going to put in that low. All right. Don't stress yourself out about it. Don't got to, you know, make things complicated, guys. And like, just also keep in mind, you don't have to trade right now. All right. There will be easier times to trade. There definitely will be. I'm just going to say it. Once you get above the short-term moving averages, that's when you could have a better chance, you know, at your long side over there, at your longs. Okay. So you don't have to frustrate yourself right now if you don't want to. No one's forcing you to do so. Okay. And I'm just going to tell you, hey, all right, maybe that would be the better move. If you are uncertain, that is always a move. Okay. As far as levels on SPY over here go, break down from that lower trend line, which you just, you know, literally built out these bear flags of SPY and QQ all freaking day. All right. But break underneath there, break under 559.11. We're watching 557.40. That's going to be your 0.618 fib right here from this most recent rally here. All right. Dead cat rally not. That is where it is. And then underneath there, underneath 557.40, you're watching 554.87. All right. That is a spot that's been bringing our reactions for a little while over here. Okay. Reaction. You see that? Well, you can't really see it too well. Yeah, but you know, expect a reaction down there. And if you start losing 554, expect 549.15 to be tested. It doesn't have to be tested, but that's just where the odds would shift if you start breaking down. All right. On the upside, I'm just going to say right here, break above 562.22. We're watching 564.02. And from there, we have 567.89. I'll just switch back over the daily time frame at this point. All right, 567.89. We know for a fact that is a level that's being respected right now. You got reactions, both those candlesticks, and then we also have it on the retest right here. That's where you most recently broke down from. Another one, gonna be right over here. All right, right at 575. But I like where my level was over there, so we're going to take it back. All right, but that's the next spot you broke down from. Then you have this level up here at 580.91. But, you know, real talk, guys, this thing looks like it could break down, and we don't know what FOMC is going to, you know, bring to us, but we do know how things are set up right now. And I just showed you all the Mag 7 stocks. They all hit oversold territory already. Meta's the last one, hitting its daily 200 MA today. Slightly missed it by like 4 points, but it's okay. It's like 3 points. I think we had 575 over there. I was waiting for it, but it did not end up coming. You literally missed it by points. All right, 3 points. That is it. All right, but you know, I'm just gonna, you know, really hammer that home. I know a lot of people are thinking the market's just gonna keep falling forever and crashing. It's not. All right, it's not. And the fact that everybody is convinced that way, that is showing where that crowded trade is. And I know it was on the long side, but it is guaranteed to the downside. That is where it is right now. And that is not the place you want to be. All right. So as far as upside over here on SPY goes, you have 562.22, 564.02, 567.89, 569.71, and 572.25. That is right next to your 200 DMA. Expect sellers there, but if you can get above, we're watching 577.39 and then 580.91. Now, we don't typically get these 20-point moves in a day. We don't really have to talk about that. It's probably, we're not shooting up here tomorrow. All right, we could shoot up like maybe here if it's a bullish reaction. Probably not going to shoot up here. So don't expect anything crazy. Okay, this crazy. Come over here to IWM. Does this look like something that's, you know, very bearish to you guys? Like, you know, people think it's going to keep falling off a cliff. I don't know what to tell you. I pointed this out the other day. The weekly RSI is almost down. It was, you know, towards the low over here. It was almost down to oversold territory. That's literally where you bottomed out over here and get these big bounces from. All right. Like, these aren't things that typically are going to be taking place. The A is, you know, that's an ugly duckling over there. But, you know, you come over here to IWM. Take away this over here, and you got above the daily 9, and as we could see, it's not falling flat on its face today. You printed the inside day. It's not looking terrible. You could see, like, you know, selling is it's waning out. It is getting exhausted, and it's just something that's going to happen. That's what I'm saying. Things aren't going to fall straight down. I know, you know, maybe you think, maybe you're convinced. Yeah, it is. It's not. Okay, you're gonna see it, and I don't even want to start calling for a freaking bottom or nothing like that, because I have no more clue than you when it's gonna come. I could just point out what triggers are on the chart. All right, IWM over here, get above 208.84. That's around the 21. That's around this high over here. Break above, you're coming to 213.97, and then you're probably gonna have this acting as a magnet. The 200 DMA, which is around 217.37. Like, you just broke under it, you're very likely at least going to retest it from the downside. I think you probably get rejected when you test it from the downside because this is pretty ugly. But you're going to get that, and you got everyone and their mother getting bearish down here. You've been in oversold territory for 2 full weeks now. 2 full weeks. Okay? It hasn't been behaving. It really hasn't. But that is literally the equivalent of us coming down here. All right, right over here. You're in oversold territory from that day right there. Right there. 2 weeks. And then what happened? You have this bounce into the 21. That would be a bounce over here up into 208.84. Like, we didn't even get that. That's what I'm saying. You didn't get even the reversion to the mean. Like, you got to the 9, but at some point, you're going to test here, and you're probably going to test up there. All right, so, you know, IWM, 203.75 resistance, 206.02, 208.84. 213.97. Don't expect that move to happen all in one day, because it's not. On downside, 201.99, 199.34, 196.70. That's that. But again, I'll just flash the weekly chart here. Yeah, you already know where bulls are stepping up, because it's very obvious what's going on here. You're at the break and retest. Big 2 to 3 year base break and retest here. 2-year base break and retest. Finding buyers with that nice lower wick over here. You got the Dragonfly Doji looking candlestick. And the weekly RSI is literally sitting all the way down here in the 30s. At the bottom, it was almost down here to where it bottomed out over here. Yeah, I mean, you know, things are bad, but at the same time, you know, they're not getting much worse. It doesn't really matter what FOMC is going to say tomorrow. It's going to be one of those scenarios we just talked about. You can make that marginal low over there, and you can put in a bullish divergence over there. But again, it's not going to last long. Okay? And we already did do that, actually. We bounced back up and then bounced back down. But, like, you know, it's going to be something like this, where you get that, and then maybe we come lower. Or it's going to be something like this, where you legit, you get that, it marks your freaking bottom. We don't know. And if we get this scenario, it's going to be a major bottom. That's what people aren't realizing. Like, if you keep doing what you're doing and not letting things reset, like, it's not like you're just falling off a cliff here and, you're staying down here. You have been, like the NASDAQ McClellan oscillator throughout this whole thing has stayed in the same spot. All right. I haven't even been showing it because it's just been staying in the same spot. Why? Because they're not letting oversold conditions even hit. They're just not. And that's something in a crash, you're going to hit oversold conditions like that. It's mass panic. All right. It's not that controlled selling right there. So that's that. All right. So we're done talking about the indices for the time being. You got VIX over here. All right. You found sellers right over here around your short-term daily moving average to the 21 to the 9 after losing it. All right. We, naturally, we're expecting a reaction over here. We lost it. We're expecting the rejection on that move there. We're going to see what happens tomorrow. All right. I'm not even going to mark this thing up. All right. We're going to have to see what happens tomorrow. If it happens to get a daily close back above here, hey, that's bad. We're going to have that scenario where we are going lower. VIX is probably going to spike again. That is that. All right. But if not, yeah, we're probably going to start that bigger rally, that actual relief bounce. All right. So that is VIX. We'll kick off the Mag 7 stocks with Nvidia. All right. Nvidia with the event today, guys. You did end up pulling back over here, and you do have a potential, well, not a potential, you do have an inverse head and shoulders right there if you can push back up here to 121.88. If you can, you're going to have this whole move here just being the right shoulder. And again, guys, short-term moving average, you really only need to watch. You want the small time frame, 5-minute, but we're talking the 15-minute, the 1 hour, and the daily time frames. They're going to give you the big picture across the board on almost any ticker. You got to know where things are, moving right there. And, it's the same thing I was just showing over there on SPY in the beginning. You had the rejection from the daily moving average. You have the rejection from the hourly moving averages. You lost them over here. You had a chance. You lost them over here. You rejected them. You come down to the 15-minute. All right. Oh, a little glimmer of hope. Well, guess what? It was actually just a retracement. All right. It was golden pocket retracement. And then what happens? You lost them again, and you confirm that you lost them with this rejection. All right. And now we're going to have to see what happens. If you lose 113.22, you have risk of coming back down to 110.11. That is actually where the left shoulder was. So, this very well could play out like that. We don't know. Underneath 110.11, though, you have 104.77. Coming over here to Tesla. This is the ugliest of them all. All right, you did start breaking them down through that 232.60 level we mentioned in yesterday's video. And you're probably coming down to 217.02. Not looking good. You're probably going to undercut this low. And if you don't undercut this low and you make it back up here to 251.84, there's your short-term bottom. There, you get a bounce at 300 to 326.59. All right. But if that doesn't happen, you're just going to break this low over here. I'm not even going to try and, speak on this thing. We all see what's happening with Elon Musk and, how, everything's getting lit on fire and stuff like that. And just bad things. All right. All in all, bad things, like fundamental things, like their customer base is not happy. That is going to like that. That is definitely why we're seeing this. And that's definitely why we're seeing this bad boy be the weakest of them all. All right. So, I'm not going to talk like how it just was on SPY, like, marginal low. I don't know how low this thing is going. I really don't. You break 212.11, your next support down there at 202.59. $200 is a big psych level. I would say that is the next big spot to put your risk on there. I would say that's a solid bet. You're buying leaps down there. I think that's a solid bet. I know people are hating on it right now, but, in reality, the whole Doge thing, it really is doing what this country needed. I don't want to talk about it like that. Like I know what the country freaking needed. I don't. But I'll tell you right now, with how things were going, it was kind of a crapshoot. It was not, it was clear as day what was going on. And they're actually trying to turn that around. Now, as far as the taxes being taken away, anybody who makes less than 150,000, oh my God, that'd be crazy. Crazy. But is that gonna actually happen? I am gonna say probably not. I can't imagine like I just can't imagine life without taxes. I'm gonna be completely honest. All right. I don't see it. I don't see it. Like, of course it'll be the same for people, make over that. but I don't. And you know, maybe, all right, most of the tax money is coming in from the bigger people, and they just see that and they're like, oh, only 2% is coming in from the, you know, the everyday people. Oh, let's give them a break. So maybe it is something like that, and maybe it does. Maybe the maths. I got no idea. I just can't picture that happening. But you know, like if something like that does happen, like do you think everyone's going to be mad then? No, this thing's going to start getting positive sentiment in again. So we're going to see about that, but that's my thoughts over there on Tesla. Moving on over here to Apple. You have this level 215.22. Break above it, you can test 219.38. All right, but as far as I'm concerned, this kind of looks like a bear flag. Yeah, it definitely looks like a bear flag there. Let's just get a drawing tool out right there. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. All right, so breakdown under 209.97. Probably going to test this low over here. Magnet on, a handy dandy magnet. And test that 208.42 low. And from there, 200. That is on the table. How the mighty have fallen. Meta. Now this honestly, you know, I know it looks kind of ugly, but this is kind of my favorite out of all of these. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think Meta is just going to keep falling off the face of the earth here. You finally got oversold conditions. You haven't gotten them, and since your big, like, what was this, 25% gap down, if I'm remembering? No, 16% gap down. You had a 25% move up or something like that. Yeah, it was over here on that gap up. But you know, we haven't gotten these conditions in quite some time. Like you had that, but you know, one time in the last 2.5 to 3 years, we have tested that oversold territory over here on the daily RSI, and now it's at the same time you're testing the 200 DMA for the first time in years since you bottomed out over here, 2.5 years here. You're probably going to get buyers stepping in here. I just can't picture them not stepping in here. This is the perfect spot. It is what it is. All right, that's all. That's my thoughts as far as they go over here. It's the same thing I was saying. Like people think it's gonna keep falling off a cliff. It's gonna have a nasty snapback, and people are gonna, oh, it was so obvious. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna also say it's not so obvious. All right, you just have to be patient and actually wait for it to happen. It's gonna be obvious once it's actually happening. So just be patient and wait for it. All right, and then you know you go back to sizing up, you go back to doing whatever you want. But I think you're gonna have a much better time if we actually start seeing a bullish trend develop here. All right, and that's when you could put on short, you know, short dated trades there. But other than that, guys, you know, I was gonna say, you see this thing start coming down here. Yeah, you're not gonna be going much lower. The market's not gonna keep falling off a cliff. All right, so you have over, and I'm gonna be called the freaking perma bull, but you know all these stupid people in the comments. And I'm telling you, if you make the comment this video, I'm gonna just say it. And I know most people aren't even gonna get to this point in the video. About half of the people probably will. Yeah, if I see you leaving a comment saying Henry's a perma bull, Henry's been calling for a bottom the whole time, I'm gonna call you stupid. I'm going to say you are a stupid person. You're proving that you're a stupid person because I'm literally acknowledging this stuff in the video and you want to be a little dickhead about it. That's fine. That's fine. Okay? Also, people didn't like me saying 600 in the last video. I guess not. I guess not. It's just how I talk, guys. I'm sorry. It is what it is. I'm a goofball sometimes. I am. I promise. Break this trend line. Probably going to test 638.40. All right? Level to be watching over here. 620.50, that brings a straight shot up to 638.40. But you know, realistically, you break this trend line, you can see it very well being respected here on the hourly time frame. You break that bad boy, this thing's gonna fly. All right, so that's really that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, it's gonna be obvious once it's happening. That's how you know it's happening. Right now, it's just rejected. Okay, that's Meta. Amazon over here with the daily bullish divergence already on the RSI. Your daily RSI did also hit where it hit the bottom over here. And you come all the way back over here, it could fall a little bit lower. It can, marginal low, and then you have a big bounce. Okay? Oh, you put in a daily bullish divergence right here, and then you had a big bounce. Over here, you got down to the same exact spot we're at right now, and then you got a big bounce. I think that's as far as I went back there. All right. But, you know, over here, I'm not saying it's going to be like that because there was a massive earnings gap down right there. But, you know, we're talking, you know, big moves right there, 20%. Yeah, after the fact, it's going to be real obvious. But, you know, I'm telling you, a lot of people are short in the hole. Like 20%. Not saying we're going to get a 20% rally. But, you know, 10 to 20%, it's going to shake a lot of people. It's going to be like, oh, my God. All right. And you just got to be patient for it. We've literally been selling for a straight 2 months. It's a month and a half. It's just been there. All right, so that's Amazon, guys. If you could start breaking above 195.75 again, you got to get above the 200. You haven't been able to. You really want to clear 201.20. So that was the trigger for my trade idea over here that I gave you guys in the weekly update, I believe it was. You got to break above 201.20. You did not break above 201.20. You just didn't. That's where you have the 9 EMA sitting right here. You have the 200 sitting right there. If you could start breaking above, that's change of character. You're also making a higher high over here. Not a higher low, but a higher high. Change of character. That's where you're going to be watching over on Amazon until that hits. Like, hey, you don't know. But again, probably not going much lower without things are set up. I'm just like making it extremely clear here. It makes no sense for you to just keep falling off a cliff. Like, you know, you want to talk about all the tariffs. Guys, Mag 7 stocks, they've gone way down. I don't know what else to say about it. You know, this right here is over a 20% clip. All right. Even the King Apple over here from the high, 20% clip. Nvidia from the high, 30% clip. Okay. Which I'm also going to say what that guy was saying today, what Jensen was saying, was sounding pretty freaking crazy to me. I wish I understood, you know, all of it, but you know, I did understand what he was getting at. Yeah, that shit is freaking crazy. All right, it is crazy what they are doing over there. But what I took away from it is, yeah, as people, as companies keep going further into this, they're going to need more and more and more computing power. They're going to need more from Nvidia. That is really all I took away from that. And you know, I'm not going to call it bullish or bearish right there. Okay. The chart, you know, if you come back down here, maybe you undercut the slope, maybe you hit the $100 cycle level and then you get your big bounce there. No idea how it's going to shape up there. No idea. But I'll tell you what he was talking about. It sounded pretty crazy. It sounded to me in a good way. It's pretty solid. All right. So coming back down here to Goog. All right. How are we looking over here on Goog? You did have that bear flag over there. And you broke down from that bad boy right there. And now you're retesting your short-term moving average over here on the hourly time frame. I'm just going to say it looks pretty ugly, but do you think it's really going to keep falling off a cliff like that? Probably not. Like these things aren't going to keep doing it forever. You're also finding buyers around that 161.12 support. Like this is all I'm getting at, guys. You lose that 148.20. With this looking like that, do you think you're about to have a freaking, you know, $15 move down? Probably not. Okay, that's why, you know, I really want to hammer this in this video. I know I don't want to sound like no freaking perm bull no more. But I'm definitely going to use common sense here. It's ridiculous what's been going on. The NASDAQ McClellan Oscillator has been oversold for a very long time. Been just consolidating. Like, we're going to start getting these bounces, guys. It's bound to happen. I know. You just keep selling every bounce here at the 9 EMA. You got a 1. You got a 2. You got a 3. At some point, that's going to break. You're going to break above the white line. Maybe reclaim the 200 here at 176.90. And then you start popping up to 190. Microsoft. You got the falling wedge over here. I'd argue this is, you know, one of the better looking ones over here. Got the falling wedge over here. Break above 394.25 over here. That's 21 EMA. From that point, maybe 405.57 is on the table. Not maybe. It's on the table. All right. Like this is a big spot right here. This zone I got laid out here. That is the big spot. That is like your head and shoulders neckline right there as well. Got your reactions. Expect a reaction if you come up above there. But, you know, honestly, this is probably my favorite Mag 7 chart right now. I'm just going to put it out there besides what I pointed out on Meta. And, you know, I'm going to say this looks way more constructive than Meta. Meta's only my favorite right now. Why? Because of where it is. I just can't imagine, like, you know, we have not seen this type of weakness in years. And now you're doing it in the same perfect ass spot. Yeah. You're probably about to get a lot of buyers stepping in here. It's the 200 daily moving average. Things are coming together. There's that. All right, guys. So those were the chip stocks. Those were not the chip stocks. Those were the Mag 7 stocks. Here are your chip stocks. See, this is what I'm saying. Rejected the 21. We haven't done this on most stocks yet, though. But I will point out your ping pong in between the 21 and the 9 EMA. It's looking kind of nice. I don't think you're just going to fall off a cliff. That would be a big dumpster dive there, and it would bring in one of these big nasty days. It can happen, but from this point, I don't think that happens. I think, you know, if everything else makes these lows, I think SMH might even make a higher low there, it might be an early indicator of, that bounce starting to happen, because you're almost back down to these lows over here. Like, that's what I'm saying. You got over here on SMH. You never made it that far, and you're right next to the lows already on QQQ. What happens if everything else makes that marginal low? This thing's probably going to find buyers here in the golden pocket. All right. That's SMH. You come over INTC, guys. This is the guy with strength right now. Pullbacks are buying opportunities. Pullbacks probably get bought right around this 2334 level if tested. Why? 21, 9. And you have the 200 daily moving average sitting right there, as well as our support that we know has been bringing on a crap ton of reactions this whole entire time. That is where you want to be buying that dip over there if you get the rejection from the top of this range. And from there, you're looking for the retest of that, and then you want to see that breakout. The other thing is you want to see a few daily closes over that 2643 level. I told you I want to see 2 consecutive closes above there. Why? Because you got your close above here. It didn't mean jack diddly squat, because you got sucked back down literally the next day. All right, so that's INTC. Come over here to Avco, guys, right on that 200 still. Nothing has changed. I know, it's killing option premiums over here. I understand. You're literally, consolidating here in the same exact range, all, like with earnings for 2 weeks. Killing premiums. I know. Okay, but in reality, it hasn't gone anywhere. It literally has not gone anywhere. It's still in the perfect spot. So there's that. 185.16. If that is lost, we could retest the low at 177.61. But again, 200 DMA. You definitely find your buyers around here. That's why we're sitting down here consolidating for so long. SMCI. This is not one that I would be paying attention to. I just don't think, it's worth the juice. Juice ain't worth the squeeze over here. It's not. We watch at 34.98. If that can't hold, it's clip. $28 is the next support. I guess you got this little guy over there, double bottom neckline right there. All right, TSM. Finding buyers over here off of 170.79. If you could break above 178.05, I think you get the straight shot up to 184.74, 187.67 supply zone we got right over there. That's where the 200 DMA is. Probably get a reaction over there. All right, guys. So that is what I have for you in today's video. I will just point out, guys, Baidu, pullback, buying opportunity. Baba, all right, I'll just say right here, you print an inside bar today. I don't know if you're going to gap up tomorrow over there. This thing likes to do most of its price action in the after hours, or at least we're going to say half the price action a lot of the time in the after hours. But if you lose 140.03, hey, maybe it's not time yet. Okay, if you're buying the dip over here, maybe it's not time to start undercutting 140.03. But if you can quickly get back over 145.30 tomorrow or the following day, that won't be a bad look. And then take out 148.43. And yeah, this thing's ready to move. All right. But as far as I'm concerned over here, you guys could see exactly what I see. All this consolidation. I know, it doesn't look the best right now on the weekly candle. But if you push back up towards the highs for the end of the week, this will look immaculate going into the following week. All right. And it's the same thing over here on Baidu. All right. Even if you just close out where you are over here, it probably is going to continue pushing over here. This has been a lagger. All right. Last one I'm going to point out, PLTR. We'll just come down to the daily time frame. All right. You got this little golden pocket from this most recent move right there. You had that golden pocket from there, you found buyers. You had that golden pocket right there, you found buyers. We're going to have to see how it goes. It's kind of how I was pointing out SMH looks, rejection off the 21, but buyers off the 9. If this thing can now take out 88.82, I think it's going to come up here to 95.80 in the short term and then above 99.32. Weekly candle over here is probably not going to be faded. You have buyers, buyers, buyers. We'll see if we get more buyers this week. If this thing can make this lower wick here and push back up the highs for the end of the week, that will be really good. That will be a good look. I know I said that was the last one, but I'm still going to highlight Uber's just in this falling wedge pattern. And it probably is going to have a better snapback than the other stocks. All right, than everything else we just mentioned. Uber is still above the 200. You're right around the short-term moving averages already. You're in this bullish consolidation pattern. Hit it with the break and retest. Hit it with the golden pocket test. This is the setup to be paying attention to on the long side on this rebound. All right. With that being said, I will catch y'all in the next video. I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, please remember to leave a like. Shameless plug. Hit the link down below and go check out the Twitter. I'll be posting my charts over there every day. And I definitely do see the value over there for anybody. It doesn't really matter if you're an investor, if you're a short-term trader, there will guaranteed be actionable charts over there for you. So go check that out. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace.